This is Wisconsin Sports on the Go with Trage, your place for all things Wisconsin sports. Now, your host, Trage.
How we doing, everybody, and welcome into Wisconsin Sports on the Go with Trage. I'm your host, Trage, as we come back here on this Wednesday, November 12th, the November 12th edition of the show here. I hope you guys are enjoying your Wednesday so far. I hope you guys enjoyed your weekend. It was a fantastic weekend for myself. Spent it there with the family, watched some good games. And then Monday night came around. We're going to talk about that. But, some good games in total there over the weekend. The Badgers finally got a win. We are talking about that today. Christian might stop by. He's uncertain. He's got a lot going on, so we'll see. Maybe Christian will stop by here later on, talk a little Badgers, talk a little Badger hoops, talk a little Badger football. We're going to get into that because that was coming off the weekend there. Wow, they got a win. Was not expecting the Badgers, the football team, to make my weekend. But there you go. They got the win against Washington. So we're going to talk about that game today because we finally have something good to talk about. So we're going to get into that. Like I said, some Badger hoops. We're going to talk some men's hoops and women's. The women's team has looked They've looked good. They've looked a lot better. From what we've seen in years past to now has looked a lot better. So I want to talk about that a little bit today here on the show. We're going to get into that. We have the WIAA football. I was watching a little football over the week or on Friday there on Zaleski, and some good games across the board. And now we had some good games coming up here with a chance to go to state. We see in the level 4 of the playoffs here, a surprise in D3, Whitefish Bay, the 8 seed. That's impressive. You don't see many 8 seeds work their way to level 4. We see the 8 seed going up against a 4 seed in Reedsburg. So a couple of high digit seeds there going at it. So that's cool to see there in Division 3. In D5, we're going to see Stratford taking on Northwestern with a chance to go to state. Should be a good game there. And then also in Division 6, we see Edgar taking on Mondovi. Edgar got the big win, not the big win, but 8-7 win over Bonduelle, and now we're going to see him take on Mondovi with a chance to go to state there. So some good games. That Edgar game was, if you like defense, wow, that's a good game. Edgar's got a very good defense. Can't wait to watch that and see if they can get down to state again, see if Stratford can make it state again. That's going to be two exciting and great programs that just continuously get there every single year, it seems like. And I played Edgar a couple times, and that's a darn good team. That's a well-coached team, been well-coached for I can't even how many years now. They've just been fantastic. So some great stuff there coming out of the WIAA football playoffs. The volleyball playoffs in full swing right now too. So some good stuff happening there. Pat Murphy, we got that exciting news yesterday. Pat Murphy, back-to-back Manager of the Year awards. That's just awesome. That's just awesome. Well-deserved. I said it right when they announced the finalists. I said this should not even take long. This shouldn't be a contest. Shouldn't really be a contest at all. It's Pat Murphy. At this point, what he's done, a lot with a little, having the best record in baseball, getting the overall number 1 seed, even though it didn't end the way that you would wished it would have. Still a fantastic season all the way around. And Pat Murphy, again, continuously proves what he can do as a manager to get his guys ready and what a manager can do. A manager, some people don't realize that it isn't just always about the talent on the field. Yes, being able to spend all the money in the world and having a lot of talent, that definitely, that's going to help. But having a manager to put it all together and to rally the troops, keep the morale, whatever, when you're in a losing streak, different things like that, especially when guys aren't hitting the ball, right? We see even guys like Dave Roberts with Mookie Betts and guys like that who are struggling when it comes to postseason, stuff like that. You got to have a manager who can help, just help the players in the everyday life that they go through. So, Pat Murphy, fantastic, been fantastic. So love to see him getting that back-to-back Manager of the Year award there. Rookie of the Year, we saw that award go out there. Caleb Durbin came in 3rd, and then we saw Isaac Collins come in 4th. I believe Chad Patrick was 7th on that list, and then Mizorowski ended up 11th. If Chad Patrick wouldn't have been replaced because, everybody came back, maybe we would have seen Chad Patrick climb up that list a little bit. So, but still pretty cool to see A lot of Brewers ending up on those lists there. Last but not least, let's just get to it. The Packers. Let's just start there. I mean, we're going to have Amar's going to stop by next, right off the bat here. I mean, we're going to talk a little Packers here, and then Amar's going to stop by after the commercial break, and we'll continue this talk about the Packers. But man, oh man, that was ugly. That was ugly. Offensively, that was about as bad as you could have hoped it. Not even hoped. That was about as bad as it could have been. Maybe worse. I don't know. What do you guys think? 715-990-4914. That is 715-990-4914. What were your thoughts coming off that Packer game? I honestly, watching that game, I usually sit there, I take notes. I mean, I got pages on top of pages of notes right now from this game, and none of them seem to be really good at all, to be honest. But there's a couple of plays that I saw that I liked, or plays from guys, mostly on the defense in this game. I had to get up and walk away from the TV for a little while and just walk back. I got up, I walked out of the room, and I came back and I sat back down. And I know it's like you're watching on TV, you're not there, whatever. I don't care. I had to walk away from what I was watching because you honestly couldn't believe it at times. How poorly ran. It's a combo of things, okay? I'm not going to sit here. I know a lot of people yesterday, for the remainder of this week until they win 5 games in a row, are going to say that Matt LaFleur should be fired. I mean, that's the consensus right now. There's a majority of people out there who just say Matt LaFleur is not a good play caller. He needs to go, yada, 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 down the laundry list. I'm not going to say that I don't have a problem with Matt LaFleur's play calling, because coming off of that game, I have a huge problem with what I saw in Matt LaFleur's play calling. I've had a problem. I mean, we've talked about it. We've talked about too much shotgun. We've talked about lack of play action. We've talked about, lack of usage of the run game or over usage of the run game at times. We've talked about, everything in between. It seems like every single week, there has not been a week where we came off it and said, wow, Matt LaFleur's team, look, and this is the problem. This is the biggest problem. We have not had a week where we said, wow, Matt LaFleur's team came into a game, lit it up, looked like they were the better team for 4 quarters. We have not had a game like that. The Packers we have not seen a game where the Packers went in and we came out of it saying, wow, for 4 quarters, the Green Bay Packers were the better team on that night. We can look through the list here. We can look through it. For 4 quarters, I don't know if we have not seen a complete game out of this Green Bay Packer team in a very long time. They come into games, they look slow. It's been since Dallas that they had a touchdown on the opening drive, I believe. That was in Dallas that they had the last one there. Otherwise, slow out of the gates, constantly slow out of the gates. Even in Dallas there, they started out hot out of the gates, and then all of a sudden Dallas was able to hop on them there. In Pittsburgh, what a great second half that it was. A lot of it on the back of Tucker Kraft. He was fantastic in that game, especially in yards after the catch in that game for the Packers. Packers in that one, 4th quarter is where they really took off. Outside of that, it wasn't huge. So we could go through the list of games here and say that there has been moments where this team has looked good, but how many games can we say that the Packers came into it, they looked prepared, they didn't? It's like, how do the Packers come into games and you're supposed to have the first how many plays scripted, right? And those scripted plays aren't working. So you're coming into this game 0. You're not prepared at all. And then you see Matt LaFleur over on the sideline, and he's got the Microsoft Edge he's got the little tablet out there, and he's sitting alone, and he's studying. And I truthfully believe Matt LaFleur knows what he's looking at. He knows 100% what he's looking at. I don't know what he's doing. To be honest with you, with his play calling, anything like that, I don't know what he's Matt LaFleur is a very smart guy. A very smart guy. His play calling everything like that. Matt LaFleur can draw up a play. I know that he can. I've seen it. We've watched it. We've seen the masterful play calling that is from Matt LaFleur, but we've also seen the terrible. And right now, the problem is that we're seeing more of the inconsistency than we are the other way around. But this last game, is not all on Matt LaFleur. I know we're going to want to sit here and we're going to want to blame the main guy because that's the easiest thing, right? It's the easiest thing to do is to blame Matt LaFleur. Throw it all on him. Fire him, right? That's the easiest thing to do. It's not. It's not. There's a lot more that went into the offense. Is not just Matt LaFleur. There are so many things going wrong within the offense. It's baffling, honestly, to be this far into the season, and this is what we're seeing. The offensive line is terrible. Now Elton Jenkins is on the IR. That's not any better, but the offensive line is terrible right now. The Aaron Banks ad in the offseason looks terrible. So the offensive line across the board, not playing well. Then you lose your tight end. I'm not going to say that Luke Musgrave isn't a solid tight end. He's a solid tight end. But there was a catch he had. It was like a third. Wasn't a third down there. It's like a 3rd and 10. And they dropped it off to Musgrave. And I think it was on that play that they ended up doing this. We're not even going to get me started on the 4th and 1 call yet. I'm waiting for Amar to get here. But I think it was right before that. And Musgrave couldn't get there. Now, I think Tucker Kraft does. And that's where I think the difference comes between those two guys. So you lose your tight end in Tucker Kraft. You lose some weapons there in the wide receiver room along the way. But the wide receiver room, the route running looks like crap right now. I mean, there is nothing, honestly, that I came out of that Eagles game with the offense that I came out of that game and said, wow, that looked good. Spurts, moments. Actually, one of the best plays of the night was called back for an illegal formation. 2 illegal formations on the night. That's the undisciplined play. They're unprepared. They're undisciplined. The offensive line is bad. The play calling, the decision-making is horrible. Terrible route running. Jordan Love makes terrible decisions. That's another one. You want to talk about worrisome right now? I'm worried that Jordan Love, I think he's got a boatload of talent. I really like him. But he's inconsistent. And if you can't find consistent play, because here's the issue, if Jordan Love can't play like a star, and he can't be a guy, I don't know if Jordan Love's a guy who can elevate all 11 guys or all 10 other guys if they aren't playing well. Everybody has to play well for Jordan Love to be able to elevate them. They all have to be playing well. I don't think from what I've seen so far, from what I've watched, we've seen moments of brilliance. But we've seen the terrible decisions. And the terrible decisions just seem to be outweighing everything else. I mean, that fumble's terrible. That was terrible. You're talking about a guy, I mean, like I said, I love Jordan Love. I do. But there is a lot wrong within this offense, and you cannot just blame it on Matt LaFleur. You cannot just put it on him. Love's got to be better. The offensive line, I don't know what they're going to do, but that definitely has to be better. The wide receiver room right now, I don't know if it's... we can't say because Tucker Kraft is out that everything just all goes haywire at all at once. You got to be able to find an answer. And that I will agree comes back to Matt LaFleur. That comes back to Matt LaFleur to find that answer. The question is now, will he find it? And in that Eagles game, it wasn't there. There was nothing pretty. That was ugly. That was an ugly offensive performance. And your defense for 2 weeks now has given you, your Super Bowl caliber defense has given you nothing but great performances. And this is what you give them offensively. 20 points. 20 against the Panthers and Eagles. That's, yeah. That's where we're at. That's where we're at on this Wednesday. That is where we're at. It is ugly. We're going to talk about it. Amar's going to be here next. We're going to hit a commercial break. We're going to come back. Amar's going to stop by. We're going to continue this Packer talk because I have 7 pages of notes here, and maybe 1 page has got good stuff on it. Everything else is some bad stuff that we got to talk about. We got to discuss. We have to work through because a lot of people are upset with the direction of this team, and I don't blame you whatsoever. I don't blame you at all. You should be upset because what we've watched for the past couple weeks, even before, it's inconsistent and it's not getting better. And that's where we're at on this Wednesday. So if you want to hit up the show, make sure you're doing it. 715-990-4914. That is 715-990-4914. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Packers, Badgers, Brewers, anything you want to talk about, hit me up. But if you want to talk some Packers, hit us up there on that text line, 715-990-4914. We'll be back here after a quick commercial break. Amar's going to stop by. We're going to continue this Packer talk on the backside of the ad break. We'll be right back here on Wisconsin Sports on the Go Trade. All right, we're back. We're back here, Wisconsin Sports on the Go with Trade. I got a little bit off my chest there to start out the show. Now I'm relaxed. We're back. And this next segment here, we're going to talk about Packer. We're going to do some Packer talk. I'm going to stay calm. I promise. I'm going to stay calm throughout the entire Packer talk. And this next segment is brought to you by 1891 Winery. They celebrate history with flavor. Sip on artisan wines crafted on location or grab a cold beer and pair it with a giant pretzel or pizza. You can catch the Packers, Badgers, Badger hoops. You can catch it all on the big TVs down there. Catch, like I said, grab some wine, grab a cold beer, grab a pizza. What else could you want? Get down to 1891 Winery there in Greenwood, Wisconsin. They're open Fridays from 4 to 7, Saturdays from 11 to 6, and Sundays from 11 to 5. Follow them on Facebook for upcoming events. You can check them out there. And if you're planning something private, they book those too. Check them out there, 1891 Winery. So, Amar is here. Like I said, we're going to continue with the Packer talk here because this is just something that we just need to get it out of the way to start the show because the Badgers won. So like that's some good. And I just want to get to the good later. Let's talk Packers. Amar's here. Amar, how we doing? Wednesday. Let's not talk about the Packers. How are you doing?
I'm tired, man. I think I'm just tired. I think it's been a crazy few months. I think all in all, it's been a crazy year to say the least. And yeah, middle of the week. Got my birthday coming up tomorrow, so I'm looking forward to that. And yeah, man, other than that though, I'm just still recovering from Monday night. How are you doing?
Well, first off, happy pre-birth. It's not like belated because that's after. So like happy pre-birthday. Like happy pre-birthday from everybody here on the show. There you go. There you go. Doing good. We're doing good over here. Like, I mean, I had my moment there in the intro. I was just a little ticked off. I mean, I'm still ticked off after watching that game coming off the weekend because, I mean, let's just dive right into that Packer game because it was a game where we watched what happened the week prior with the Panthers. And it was a trap game. We felt we didn't think they could be trapped twice. They had the Brown trap game already. We didn't think it could happen again. It happened again against the Panthers. And we said, well, there is no way that you could come out flat against the defending Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles in Lambeau, a team that you knew was going to be gunning for you. You were trying to ban the tush push, all that kind of jazz, all that talk, all this going into it. The Philly fans, blah, 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 whatever. We didn't think they could come into it flat. And once again, Matt LaFleur, he baffled me again. He did. Amar, let's just start there. How can a guy who we believe, I mean, I believe he's a good play caller. I believe I shouldn't say that. I believe he's a good play designer. I don't believe he's a good play caller at times. How does a guy who we want to put all of our faith into and seems like he's the guy at times, how does he come into another game ill-prepared with an undisciplined team who they come out flat, they don't look right, your star quarterback in a lot of eyes right now in quotations because a lot of people are worried about him right now. Your quarterback looks like he's lost out there at times. Your offensive line's terrible. I don't know. You know what? I would be honest with you. Josh Myers leaving might have been the worst thing in the world. It might have been at this point. I mean, Amar, what coming off that game, how do you come into another game like this?
I think we kept having these hopes where like, oh man, like LaFleur's going to have this team ready. They're going to, they can't be underdogs, but if they're underdogs, then they, play at a whole nother level. Because last those 2 games against Cleveland and Carolina, they're a heavy favorite. I really can't tell you. I really don't know what LaFleur is doing right now. I feel like he's coming into this game. He has a game plan. He has, you know how they say you script the first 25 plays? Yep. I feel like he scripted the first 60 plays, and he just goes literally down that script. And it's like his tendencies, Ben Solak did like a great breakdown where his tendencies are now showing up in every single game. And the innovation, the creativity, the ability to play off other plays and other formations, none of that is there. Maybe it is, and we're just seeing poor execution by a very young team and undisciplined team. But it's one of those things where that's what your coaching staff gets paid to do, to nail in these facts. I'm like, the things that we're seeing now, like it just reminds you of a team playing in a preseason where they just don't know what's going on and they're trying to figure things out. And we're at a point where we're at week 11 and we're still dealing with the same things we're dealing with, not just this year, but last year. I mean, it's pretty bad that 4th and 1 call inside zone was a call that they've done multiple times in the games this year. And I think you and me have talked about it, where it seems like instead of him going into his bag and like getting different plays, he's like repeating stuff. And I just don't know it's because he has no confidence in Jordan, which I doubt that is, but it feels like it. No confidence in his offensive line because they can't. Aaron Banks is just terrible. Or the receivers have, I think if you notice, some of the receivers are like, I've watched Jordan having to tell people, no, go here, go there, go here, right? And again, as a quarterback, you shouldn't have to be not only worried about your job, but also worrying about where the receivers are lining up and telling them where to go, right? Yep. It just seems like it's so disjointed, and it just feels like we're like in preseason still, and here we are in mid-November. And I don't know, man. I'm with you. I know for a long time I was defending LaFleur. I'm slowly turning on him, and I hate that. But it's tough. That was a rough game. Like I know the Eagles didn't look that great either, but they haven't looked great all year. But they're now 6-2.
Yep.
And it's like, yeah, like we're 3rd in the division. We're the 7th seed. None of that matters right now. It matters where we end up. But I'm telling you, it just looks really bad. And I don't know if there's any answers that we can come up with. I was kind of hoping LaFleur would talk today. And, I guess he's going to talk tomorrow. But, yeah, I'll tell you, I'm over it to a certain degree.
Yeah. No, right. Like you just mentioned it. They're 3rd right now, and they're deservedly 3rd. Like right now, if you put the Packers on the field with the Bears, I don't think they beat the Bears. And that sucks to say. Because scary. Caleb Williams and Ben Johnson have figured it out. And that's my biggest worry right now. Matt LaFleur and Jordan Love have had 6 years to figure it out. Yeah. And it still seems like there's this distance. Like there's like this confusion between the two of them, what they want, what the other one's doing. It just feels like there's this confusion. Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams figured it out in 9 weeks? Like, where are we at right now? Like, that's my worry. And Matt LaFleur, you mentioned it great there. With the consistent play calling, right? The 4th and 1. We've seen it many times this year. You said it, the inside zone. They've ran it a lot. And I was just thinking to myself, okay, well, the second downs. We look at the second downs. They kept trying to run it with Josh Jacobs on second down. And how many times did we see the Eagles stuff it, and then it set up a 3rd and long? Right. And then the Packers were constantly playing from deep behind the sticks. You want to know what? The Eagles make it so I absolutely despise the tush push, and I don't even want to talk about it because it's just going to give the Eagle fans and everything what they want out of a show is to have people talking about that thing. So I'm not even going to talk about it. I don't even care. But what the Eagles do is they set themselves up with those short yardage situations. They get themselves into that 3rd and short where they can utilize then 2 plays to try and get a first down. Whereas the Packers, we saw it there. At one point, they were having an average of 12 yards at one point on 3rd downs. 12 yards. And they were, I don't have the stats up in front of me here, but 3rd down conversions, they came into the game as the best, one of the best, if not the best in the NFL on 3rd down conversions, like 49%. And at one point, they were like, for the century.
Yeah.
And that's where it's getting 3rd and manageables. And that's where Matt LaFleur is not even getting them to that point. No. So now Jordan Love's trying to push the sticks, right? And there was one he had to Luke Musgrave. And I think, like I said before, if Tucker Kraft was out there, I think he busts it and he gets it. But Luke
Yeah.
Musgrave was short. He just doesn't have the
doesn't push
same
through it.
ability that Kraft does to get it.
Yeah.
But you're also trying to rely on your guys to have to go and get it for you because you're setting yourself up in terrible situations, because you're playing conservative, because you're playing scared, because you're playing in this certain way. And that's the way that you're coaching this team. And you want to know what the best part about Dan Campbell is? And I'm going to praise Dan Campbell for a second. You want to know what the best part about him is? His players are a encapsulation of him. They are him. They're feisty. They get after you. They're tough. They go after. They do all those things, and they're just hard-nosed football players. You want to know why this team's undisciplined? You want to know why they're unprepared? You want to know why all these things continuously go wrong? Sometimes you don't got to look very far. Sometimes you don't. It needs to start with Matt LaFleur. He needs to get his guys ready. I don't believe he's a terrible coach. I don't hate Matt LaFleur. But the way that he's coaching this team right now, the conservative stuff, he's like sometimes a whiner. I'm going to be honest with you. He's a whiner at times. And I hate to say that because I want to like the guy. But when I watch him on the sideline and all I see is hands on the head, sticking his head down. He's upset. Oh, it didn't work. Oh, no, I got Bo Melton out there playing wide receiver again for some reason. I'm trying to run a pitch play to my backup running back out of shotgun and seeing if that works. You want to know why it's not working, Matt? Because you're playing with more stuff behind the line of scrimmage than anything else. 2 illegal formation calls. 2. One of them would have been the best play of the night was called back for an illegal formation call that would have set you up with a great chance to score. And it got called all the way back because your team once again came in undisciplined, because I believe it starts right there. It starts with him. And that's my worry. And I know that I want somebody to talk me out. So, Amar, is that an overreaction to say that Matt LaFleur and the way that he coaches this team is actually showing up in the way his players are playing on the field? The way that he's coaching is an exact replica. Like, it's just like together. Like, it just seems like to me that's what I'm seeing is the way he's coaching is the way they're playing.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I think if anything, you're seeing how tightly wound he is right now. He is now literally coaching for his job. I think the fact that policy didn't extend him and that they have that in the back of their head is probably there. You know, the team is a reflection of their coach, right? And you see like Campbell, you see Nick Sirianni, you see like even like Dan Canales, you see the players having fun. If they're up, they're down, they're still having fun. Our guys aren't having any fun. I ain't seeing nothing on the sidelines. I see a little bit on the field. It just seems like it's all performative, if anything. And the truth is they're all completely undisciplined because the mistakes is what killing them. And I think when you see him get pissed off at players for making those mistakes, it doesn't help because it's like, okay, well, you're jumping on him, but then what are you doing as a play caller? Are you putting these guys in the best position to be successful? You're not. And on top of that too, you're staying to your script. Like you run almost at a pretty high clip on first down, but it is proven now this year that he runs no matter what it is on second down every single time. Doesn't matter if it's second and short, second and long, doesn't matter. It's always a run, and your team is not a good run blocking team. These guys cannot run block to save their lives, and you're scared to give. I don't know if you're scared to give Jordan the ball and just let him run with it, but it comes down to a point where it's like, okay, you have, like you said, Bo Melton out there, who is a cornerback now, who has been practicing now with the offense, who hasn't played any defensive snaps. You're going to him in critical downs, and he's dropping the ball. Last year or 2 years ago, that guy was catching everything. Now I guess he's doing too much, so he can't. And the fact that he's always complaining about, you guys always want to talk about targets. How does Christian Watson have 4 targets? How does it Musgrave have 2 targets? Like, what are we? He's playing. I don't know why he's being so conservative, but I understand the offensive line is not great, but you as an offensive coordinator / head coach as play caller, you should be the one to find ways to move the pocket, when I watch Sean McVay and the Rams play, and I just see them spam plays over and over and over again, I'm like, they run bootleg almost every other play. Play action bootleg. You tell me Jordan can't do that? Stafford's out there with a bad back, freaking in his mid-30s, trying to hold on. And Jordan's pretty spry. He's healthy. I don't know. I'm telling you, there's not a true answer, but it's getting to the point now where we are literally in the definition of insanity every single week doing the same thing, expecting a different result. Yeah. And I am actually terrified about – I know the Giants suck. They got so much dysfunction. Their team is all over the place. I'm terrified to see that what's going to happen. We went to the Giants last year when their team was all garbage, and they beat us. Their defensive line is disgusting. They have talent up and down the line, and their backups are good too. So, yeah, I'm telling you right now, like, people have said that if he keeps continuing this way, he may get fired by the end of the year. And that's sad because he is a good coach, but I agree with you. Year 7, he's still making some kind of like very, very like first-year coach mistakes. I don't know, man. It's not looking promising right now.
He worries me because it seems like he's coaching like a guy who feels like he's not going to lose his job. That's how I feel he coaches. Which is
weird, right?
That's he coaches like a guy who's not worried, right? Yeah. Because when you're like a Brian Dable, when he got fired, but he was coaching like a guy. He was letting Jackson Dart run with it. He knew what he had to do to try to get it. He was going to let it all go balls to the walls to see what happens.
100%.
But Matt LaFleur is playing conservative, like he doesn't want to be in the spotlight of why it went wrong, yet he's putting himself in the spotlight by not letting it just run with it.
And it's still going wrong.
That's my, I guess, biggest worry. That's my biggest problem with him. It's like it seems like he's coaching like a guy who doesn't feel like he's going to be fired, yet he might be on the hottest of seats of any of the coaches that you don't expect. So, I mean, yeah, and you mentioned the schedule. That was the easy part of the schedule that they just went through.
Yeah.
I mean, this part coming up here, the Giants, after the Giants, you have Vikings twice. You have the Ravens. You have the Bears twice. You have the Broncos, who are stingy, and you have the Lions at Ford Field. And I'm going to guess Dan Campbell isn't too happy that you embarrassed him to start the season and started his season off on a bad note. So I'm going to take a shot in the dark and tell you that this stretch of games that you got coming up here, if you don't start it out right with the Giants, it's going to go bad fast.
Yeah, I agree.
It could go really bad, really fast. So, I mean, yeah, this right now, it's just like you said with the play calling. Why not switch things up? Why not try like more up tempo? Late in the game, they ran up tempo. They were keeping
and they were successful.
They were no huddle. They were urgent. That's another thing that I was going to say. This team, and that's where I work like with Matt LaFleur, and like what I'm saying, this team is like an exact copy of him. There's no urgency. And it just seems like there isn't an urgency with Matt LaFleur at times. He seems so relaxed, like, oh, we got this. We'll be fine, right? We can just play conservative football all game, and we'll just make it work at the end. That's not how it works in the National Football League. That's not how, look at what Sirianni made the dumbest play that he's ever done. The 4th and 6, when he chucked it down the field to A.J. Brown. Jalen Hurts chucked it down the field. It was incomplete. Packers ended up getting the ball. That was in the 4th. They're late. I mean, it was the dumbest thing in the world.
Yeah.
But at the same time, why not? Why not? I mean, whatever. If he kicks a field goal and he makes the 6, okay, right? If he gets it, if he gets down there, kicks field goal, makes the 6, whatever. But he went for it. And sometimes that's what you want out of a coach. You just go for it. It ended up working. If it ended up screwing up, Sirianni would look like the worst thing that's ever happened today. But it ended up being fine. But that's a coach who just said, all right, let's do it. Let's see what we can do. I trust my guys. Go and get it. They didn't get it. But anyways, it's just that kind of stuff, the urgency to just say, I don't want Matt LaFleur and because Sirianni respects Matt LaFleur and he respects Jordan Love. He says, I don't want to give him the ball back. So I want to keep it in my hands. I want to just end this thing right now.
And it was a good throw. It was actually a good throw. Like Adrian just didn't see it. It hit him in the hands.
Valentine made a fantastic play. I mean, it was a fantastic play. It was unlike when Christian Watson played defense and should have been playing offense and just caught the ball down the field.
He even said he should have caught him.
That was hilarious. When he reposted it on Twitter, and he's like, somebody said, like, should Christian Watson have caught it? And he's like, yeah.
Yes. He's like, yeah. And he saw the ball coming. He thought if he just put his hands out, it would come into his hands. I was like, Christian, what are you doing, bro?
Man.
He did play defense. I'll take it. But oh my God.
It was at least he played defense, but it's like, dude, remember, you're on offense. Like, if you want to go Melton and play corner, but you're kind of get hurt a lot. So I don't want you to play defense either. So anyways, when we come back from the break, we're going to hit a commercial break. We're going to come back. We're going to talk about the little bit of good we saw, and then how they can move forward from this into the Giants game and maybe get back on track. So we're going to talk about that when we come back from the break here. Wisconsin Sports on the Go with Trage. We'll be back after the Sports on the Go with Trage. I'm your host, Trage, as we come back here on this Wednesday. And hey, this next segment, Amar's sticking around here. We're going to talk a little bit more Packers. This next segment is brought to you by Badger Tree Care. The tree removal, tree trimming, pruning, full cleanup, small lot clearing, storm cleanup. They do it all. Call Trevor Barth there, 715-937-3276. That is 715-937-3276. Call him up there, Trevor Barth. He does fantastic work there. Check him out on Facebook. Just see the pictures of what they do. It is absolutely stunning what they can do. A tree's there, gone, and it looks like it was never there. I mean, they are just fantastic at what they do there. If you want to be involved in the show, make sure you're doing it. 715-990-4914. That is 715-990-4914. Make sure you follow us across the social medias. And if you miss any portion of the show here tonight, make sure you check us out next day across all podcast platforms. So I'm going to go into the break. We were talking about what went wrong, Matt LaFleur, the problems that we're seeing with Matt LaFleur right now. Let's get into the good. Right, let's talk a little bit of good off of that game.
Okay.
The defense was fantastic in this game. Once again, I mean, we're talking about 2 straight weeks. The Panthers held them to 16 points there, and then we look at this game against the Eagles, held them down to 10. They forced a fumble there early on Jalen Hurts. That was a fantastic play by Edgerrin Cooper. I thought Evan Williams really looked good in the run game.
Oh, he looked amazing. I agree.
He was blowing up Saquon Barkley. There was a play. I would have to go back and watch the film.
It was the fourth quarter. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah.
It was Saquon Barkley, he just came straight through the line, blew up in the backfield, like right on the head. Bam.
He came from deep, dog. I was like,
yes.
Yeah.
And I was mightily impressed off that play. I was like, wow, okay. Here's Evan Williams. He's playing great. He looks fantastic. I thought the secondary did a pretty darn good job on A.J. Brown. They did a pretty good job on Devontae Smith. Right. Got open one time there over the top. It was a good throw by Jalen Hurts. Great catch by Devontae. People forget, and I love what Jalen Hurts said, that he's like, people forget that Devontae Smith won a Heisman. Like, he's a pretty darn good football player, and a lot of people just forget about that. So, I mean, he was fantastic. I mean, he's a fantastic wide receiver. Dallas Goedert got open a couple times. My biggest, I guess, the only thing I could say where I had, a problem with the defense was they still seemed to lose guys in the flats. That's where I guess my concern is, because it's the 3rd and shorts when they just drop it off in the flats to like Dallas Goedert and he just gets a first down on a little just boom route there. It just, those are the ones where it worries you that they didn't add at the cornerback position, because they can't play any kind of press coverage, because they get worried about getting burnt off the edges, especially against teams like the Eagles with good wide receivers out there. Or you're going to have that against the Vikings there. The Bears got some good talent out there at the wide receiver position. So you're going to I just keep going through a laundry list. There's going to be a lot of teams that you're going to face there where the Packers just don't feel comfortable playing a press coverage, which worries you, because it's like they're going to play a bend but don't break, death by 1,000 cuts defense, and just hope that you screw up along the way. And I guess that would be my only worry, I guess, with the defense. What did you like coming off this game from the defense? Maybe if you had some worries or dislikes about the defense in this game.
My biggest concern was, again, you nailed on the head, playing off and very much like playing beyond the sticks when it's the 3rd and long. Again, having Saquon out way in the flat, and then Carrington Valentine having one of the better games I've seen him have all season, missed the tackle, but not a lot of people are hitting Saquon in that kind of space, right? I think Michael Parsons had an amazing game. I think he was on his horse many a times, and he was just right there for multiple sacks. Him losing contain is a little frustrating. It reminds me a lot of Rashawn Gary when he'd make his pass rush off the side, right? Where he's going for the sack, and he's going so wide that he gives up a lane for them to run out and get a first down. It happened against Carolina, it happened against Jalen. I think one of the biggest concerns I have on defense is when you have Isaiah McDuffie out there. And he's an amazing run stopper. He definitely could play, within a very short zone, but he gets exposed a lot when they put a tight end on him. I feel like McKinney had a pretty good game, but again, I wish that he was more close to a line, make him be more disruptive. Again, we held the Philadelphia Eagles to 10 points, right? What I thought was kind of funny was they ran the tush push, maybe once or twice?
Yeah.
And truth be told, the Eagles could have probably ran the tush push like at least 15 times that game. There were multiple times they were in 3rd and short, like 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3. And I thought they were going to run the tush push. They purposely didn't run it, I feel like. They're like, you know what? This is a team that wanted to get it banned. We're going to use it a couple times, and that's it. And we're going to basically play it straight. Because there were times where I'm like, there were times in that 4th quarter where I'm like, they could run the tush push, and they could just basically just run the clock out. And they decided not to. And, of course, they didn't get their completions. But, man, I was very surprised about the fact that the lack of utilization when it came to the tush push. And, again, 10-7 game. So your defense has lost. No, your defense is now held teams within, low double digits. We have a total of 39 points and 3 losses. And you're telling me the offense just couldn't get it done? Yeah, I'm sorry. Like, the defense is doing his job. Jeff Hafley is not only adjusting at halftime, he's adjusting in drives.
Yeah.
You're watching him make adjustments when it comes to how they're actually playing on the front, if they're going to add more weight, how they're actually playing off, and they're sending blitzes, and they're being very timed. Like, he's making these adjustments. And I'm thinking, LaFleur used to be that way, and we're not seeing that. So, all in all, the defense is doing its job. It's getting paid for, and the Packers went all in this year by getting Parsons. And I hate to say it, if this continues, it's going to be it's going to be a lost season. And the window was open for 2.5 years, but what do you do if your offense can't get out of this funk they're in? I just don't know.
You can't. You're basically the Cleveland Browns.
But they look good. They were still throwing touchdowns.
Get Joe Flacco. Get Joe Flacco in there. He'll start throwing touchdowns for you.
I heard Joe Burrow might be available, so maybe get Joe Burrow.
Maybe. I don't know. I would completely agree. The tush push was interesting, and you brought up an interesting point. Maybe they didn't run it because they wanted to say, well, look what we can do without it.
Exactly.
Maybe they just wanted to prove that they could do it without the tush push. So that's an interesting one there.
They ran it one time. And I think that was the only maybe once or twice. I don't think they didn't run it a lot. And
they didn't run it a lot at all, but they did have a lot of chances to utilize it, and they didn't. So very interesting there. Yeah, I would agree. Baron Sorrell, I thought he played great. I thought Baron Sorrell did some really good things. Limited snaps, didn't play a lot. I can't even see the total snaps there on the top of my head there. Oh, right there, 7. He had total 7 snaps in total. But 2 tackles. Some good plays out there. I mean, he was great in the run, I thought, in this one here at least. He was great in the run for him. He actually was their top PFF grade, but he only played 7 snaps. So I don't know. It's like PFF's always got that skewed thing there where they don't put into account that they only play so many snaps to kind of organize that one out there. Like we talked about Carrington Valentine, I thought he played fantastic. Javian Bullard has developed into a really good guy along with the run. I thought, that's been the big step up in his game is his ability to get downhill on that run game. That's been impressive. So Javian Bullard's been great for him. There was a lot of guys that we saw in this game who played meaningful snaps and played really well. I mean, Egenbare, he played well. Kobe Wooden, Carl Brooks played well. I thought Devontae Wyatt.
That was the one. That was what I missed. Devontae Wyatt had an amazing game. He did, and he didn't get graded well. He got graded like crap. And I think it was just because of the run game. The run game hurt him. And because he wasn't a force in the run game. And I think that was a lot of the Jalen Hurts stepping up in the pocket and being able to get out. I think that's where maybe they knocked him on the run with his run defense, because when you look at his grade, he got graded like crap when it came to the run game. His actually overall defense was 33. The run, he graded him in at 40. So, I mean, it's just that run game that really got to him in the grading system, I would say. But I thought all in all, Devontae Wyatt played really well up the middle for the Packers in this one. It's like you said, though, the rush went wide. They brought forward. The rush went wide. Jalen Hurts was just able to step up. And that's all it was. He found the lanes to step up in, and he's very good at that. And then Jalen Hurts has got the ability to not just run. He can throw it out of that. He can do a lot of different things, which gives him that multi-weapon look there. So that was definitely something that hurt the Packers in this one, was him being able to extend plays. And it's been a thing that's hurt the Packers in the past. Yeah. With, like you said, with mobile quarterbacks being able to get out and run there. So, I mean, all in all, though, the defense, you can't, we're not going to sit here and harp on the defense. There is not a whole lot of bad that you want to bring out of this defense here. But the offensive side of it, I think the big thing that I'm getting is the offensive line is, I don't know what they have to do. I don't.
I'm at a loss because I really didn't think. I mean, we talked about in the offseason, we're like, Josh Myers wasn't the greatest thing in the world. And moving Elton Jenkins over, that seemed like a solid move at the time, moving Elton over. And then you add in Aaron Banks. We're like, okay, they're addressing problems, right? Because when they went into last offseason, you look at what happened in the playoff game, right? They got bullied. They got bullied up front by the Eagles. This team right here. This is what they prepared for. This is why they got Aaron Banks. Was for this team.
Yeah.
And he got manhandled. And then, bad. I mean, outside of that, I mean, Zach Tom, I thought played well. Rasheed Walker didn't play bad. I thought actually on the outside, those two didn't play bad. Zach Tom didn't look bad. I thought Rasheed Walker actually looked good. Pass blocking wise, Rasheed Walker actually graded at 86. He was fantastic. If you want to look at that. I mean, those two actually played well. And Rasheed Walker's been a guy of question. But he played well. Zach Tom played well. But you look at these other guys, Jordan Morgan, the inconsistent play of Jordan Morgan. I don't know what Anthony Belton is at this point here. And then, I mean, we could just go through a laundry list of guys. Sean Ryan ended up having to play center. He's going to end up playing. He didn't play bad at the center spot for coming in. And we kind of talked about it. We said that at one point. We're like, maybe shift Sean Ryan over to center and kick Elton Jenkins back out. Well, now Elton Jenkins is going to be on the pine for a little bit there with that fracture. But the offensive line is where it's got to start.
Yeah.
Because it's everything. It's not just, I mean, we talked about the run game. It's not just the run game, though. It's Jordan Love. When Jordan Love is not pressured, he's like one of the best quarterbacks in football.
Yeah, but that's the thing that you're going to get pressured, right? Yeah. Like
the book is out on Love. The book is out on Love. When you can put pressure on Jordan Love, it's night and day difference. But he can be the best quarterback in the world without it. And when he's got pressure on him, he makes silly mistakes. He tries to force things. He doesn't do well with pressure. And we saw it in this game. He rushes things, right? He doesn't, like we were talking about Jalen Hurts, right? He sees the open lane. He steps up into that lane. Jordan Love, not in that same, I don't want to say in that same category, but he questions himself. And then the routes that LaFleur is trying to set up are open. How many times did you watch a replay and they're like, ooh, Dobbs was coming open across the field. Or there's Watson coming open, but Jordan Love didn't see him. He didn't have time. He wasn't able to get it there. That's the problem. You have these crossers that are supposed to open this thing up because you're playing that too high safety look. You have these crossers that are supposed to open it up, but they're not opening it up because Jordan Love doesn't have time to even step up and look. That's where I guess my worry is with this offensive line is that Jordan Love doesn't have the time, which is making Jordan Love look even worse. I think Jordan Love is making some silly mistakes. I will say that. I think Jordan Love, the immaturity is still there, which is worrisome at times because that fumble, that's something that can't happen.
No.
You got to eat that. You have to go down and eat that because that's 3 points. I know McManus missed the one late, but that's 3 points. That's a tie ball game. Now, things can go different, right? But hindsight being 2020, that's a tie ball game. So that's a problem that you right there. That's
you trying to like volleyball hit it to Jacobs, man. That was
I don't know what that was. That was just
what like
that in the 4th and 1 call are two terrible things that happened that I just have replays in my mind watching over and over again. And it's that immaturity play by Jordan Love where it's just we've seen it before. And that's where I guess I come back to the Matt LaFleur thing and saying to him, okay, the immaturity of Jordan Love, why hasn't Jordan Love this was supposed to be the breakout year. Why does it not seem like a breakout year? And it just comes back to the same narrative that it just never is consistent. It's never all there. And Jordan Love, it's like he needs all other 10 guys to be playing at a certain level. And right now you have who's playing at an actual good level? Christian Watson?
Yeah, I mean, numbers-wise.
Rasheed Walker, maybe? You got 3 guys on that entire offense, right? I mean, I can't blame Luke Musgrave. I don't think he really did anything terrible in that game. So maybe Luke Musgrave, but he's still not Tucker Kraft. Who's playing at that level that can elevate the offense right now? Maybe 3 guys that you can say that played well in this game to elevate the offense. Zach Tom, Rasheed Walker, and Christian Watson. Outside of that, Dobbs played well. They ended up getting hurt.
Jacobs to a degree, but
yeah. And then, I mean, Wicks had some drops.
Wicks had great until he drops that ball. There was like 5 drops that could turn the game around. And I think what you're saying about the pressure thing, I agree. But Jordan's been the kind of guy who's taken pressure to the face and still been able to deliver the ball pretty accurately. And we saw that in the beginning of the year. And it's like I'm watching him. He's skittish. He's skittish, man. He's scared. Like it's like he's looking down at the pass rush. I mean, I watched Aaron Banks get beat time and time and time again. It was embarrassing. And then Jordan Morgan playing right guard doesn't make any sense to me. You just need to put him at left guard and call it a day because that's what he actually was better at. I think, like, Jordan has no confidence in that line, and he's trying to lose confidence in his receivers. I feel like their spacing's off, their routes are off, something's going on. But he, too, he's not letting things develop enough to where he can make better decisions. And this double clutching stuff is like, I'm telling
he's
you,
questioning everything.
He's
and
questioning
it's exactly
everything,
like
and
his head coach. That's
he's doing the same
what
as
I'm
coach.
coming back to.
That is it. That's 100%
Yes.
it.
I'm
That's
coming back to the
100%
head
it.
coach of all
Yeah.
this. These guys are questioning themselves. The
Yep.
route run, like you said, the route running's all off. The formations are off. You can't even set up. You can't even set up where you got to go. Even on when you have time. You have all the time in the world, and you have nobody who's yelling in, call timeout, whatever. Get this thing fixed up. But you don't notice it, right? It's those little things. You have I don't want to say you don't have a leadership on the field right now, but it just seems like there's nobody out there who's like taking that urgent charge to say, okay, we got to fix this right now. You hear it behind the scenes, right? Josh Jacobs will tell you in a press conference, but what's he doing out on the field?
Yeah, what you guys like? He says he doesn't know the answer, but they're gonna figure it out. I'm thinking like you got Michael Parsons saying, "Don't worry, we're gonna win a lot of games." I'm thinking like, all right, dog, you got like 8 games left. What are you talking about? Like a part of me's kind of like you can keep telling us these things, but there's no changes happening, and like LaFleur needs like a come to his Lord moment and just really figure out what he's gonna do. Because I'm sorry, like. What you're doing isn't working, and you need to change it up. Like Dan Campbell took over the play calling because he wanted to change things up. LaFleur might need to give it up. I'm not saying that's the right move, but it's something different, and see if it makes a difference. That's what it comes down to.
What could Stanovich do worse at this point?
At this point,
honestly,
more Vrabel.
Yeah,
try it or Getsy. Getsy's called plays, or Nathaniel Hackett. He's called plays. There's a lot of guys.
Any of them, you could have Jeff Hafley call it at this point.
I mean, honestly,
do worse.
I'm telling you, it is just one of those things where we have guys there that can give you different, like an infusion on the offense, and allows you to be. And the thing is, maybe he doesn't know what to do then. If he's not calling plays, maybe he's confused as a head coach, just like McCarthy was in 2015.
Yeah,
he gave a play calling for 7, 8 weeks. He was doing his thing, but after a while, he had to take it back because he just didn't like the way things were going. They weren't bad, but still, though, right?
Right. I'm going to let you go on this one. I don't know if he wants to let it up because if somebody does come in there and do it better, Matt LaFleur doesn't really have a reason to be there anymore.
Maybe.
So that would be an issue.
He can still design the plays.
He's designing it, but you could just be like, oh, you got the playbook already. Why do we need Matt LaFleur around anymore? He's just a random guy. Like it's one of those kind of things too. I don't know.
Be.
I don't know.
I can see that actually.
It's Matt LaFleur. Who knows? Packers, they got to figure it out here. Amar, I got to run. Let the people know where to find you out there across social media.
Absolutely, man. So as always on AMAR3455 on Twitter X, Coast to Coast Packers is everywhere. We're probably going to go again Thursday or Friday. Oh, actually Thursday's my birthday, so we're probably going to go Friday. And just catch us on any of those things. We'll go live. We'd love to have you guys there, have comments. We put those on there. We try to talk to everybody, talk about what happened this past week and what to expect for the next week, as well as just probably just complain, because that's what we're going to be doing is probably a lot of complaining and saying a lot of things we probably can't say on here. So, yeah.
Right, exactly. We save it for there. So make sure you guys are checking that out there coming up on Friday there, Coast to Coast Packers. Make sure you check out Amar across social media. So thank you, Amar. As always, we'll be back here. We're going to wrap up hour number 1. Look ahead to hour number 2 when we come back here for Wisconsin Sports on the Go with Trage. I am your host, Trage, as we wrap up hour number 1. This next segment is brought to you by Foreman's Hardware. They offer you everything from home essentials to farm supplies. House to farm, grills to drills, Foreman's Hardware has got you covered. Visit today in Loyal, Colby, or Medford, Wisconsin. Tell them I sent you. Tell them Trage sent you. Get 5% off right now. Grab the 3-pack of seasoning they got down there at your favorite Foreman's, whether it's in Loyal, Colby, or Medford. Get down there, grab up that 3-pack there, and you can help them win their little contest they have between the stores. So make sure you check them out there. Foreman's Hardware. So in hour number 2, coming up next year, in hour number 2, Christian's going to stop by. He's on. Don't you guys worry. He's on tonight here. I told you he might not be able to make it. He's going to make it. Don't you guys worry. We're going to talk some Badgers. We got Badger football to talk about. We got Badger hoops to talk about. We're going to have all of that here. Hour number 2 of Wisconsin Sports on the Go with Trade is coming at you after this quick commercial break.